Well, hello everyone. Here we go. That's all better. Good morning, everyone. Or I guess it's good evening if you're in UK. Good afternoon if you're in East Coast. Hey, Ryan. Oh, you got the blue membership badge, the light blue one. Hey, Ryan, you also have uh, pistol now. So if you don't like a comment, you can shoot people above you. Pew 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 pew. New emoji. Hey Onji, how you doing, buddy? Who was the first one to say hello to you? It was Ongo. How you doing, Jay? Ooh, that was loud in my ear. Made me deaf in my ear. Good morning, everyone. Hi, homeless Jamie. How you doing? Hi, Grim Reaper. Lucky says got this preloaded in my Xbox. Hopes it's good. I actually downloaded it in my PC. It's ready to go. I'm gonna lower the music. I think it's all too loud. Sorry, guys. It's too loud for me. So there we go. I'm gonna lower everything. There we go. I don't have to scream now. Hi, Lucas. Yeah, I downloaded the game in the PC, so I'm ready to go. It's coming out today at 5 p.m. in Pacific time. I'm actually thinking about streaming it today or maybe tomorrow. And if you don't know what we're talking about the Starfield. money, right? Hey, Yamstar, how you doing, buddy? I want to say hi to someone special who's been waiting all this time. How you doing, Joe Marvolo? I think you were the first people to say hello to me on Facebook. Hey, Joe. Yeah, you're waiting for the game. Can't wait to play. I hope it's good. I hope it's not like No Man's Sky. If it's like No Man's Sky, that's gonna suck. So don't think about that. Don't think about that. Every time they talk about how big the game is, I'm like No Man's Sky, No Man's Sky, No Man's Sky. Anyway, you don't play GTA no more. Curving, I'm thinking about doing some nostalgia streams, but not really, you know. Good to see you, John. I agree on that one. Hi, Dakota Johnson. How you doing? Ryan is just screaming money, money, money. It's James, not Jamie, but it's cool. Sorry, James. I'm bad with names, man. I am, and I apologize. Sorry, James. Alrighty. There's a couple things I want to check out today. I want to see what is going on with Starfield. I want to watch some reviews, pre-release reviews. I kind of want to judge if they're right or not. Ryan, I'm the Batman. I'm Batman. Anyway, kind of want to do that. Also, want to take a look at what's happening out there. 5 p.m. today, Jordan. 5 p.m. Pacific time. I have a big cup because I used to drink lattes, but now I don't. I can't have milk, so it's just black coffee, and this is all that's left. I know it's sad. Every time I say latte, I feel weird. It's like a word. Latte is not a word meant to be said by men. At least this is how I feel. So every time I say latte, I just. Toko, are you here? Toko was giving me shit for not streaming earlier because he lives in Europe, and today I'm streaming at 9:50 pre 10 o'clock Pacific, and he's not even here. I'm gonna give him so much shit when he gets in here. Thank you for the like, Daniel. Is that too loud for everyone else as well, or is that my ear just screaming in? Let me know if it's loud for those notifications are loud for you guys. All right. I want to see. Let's take a look here, guys. So let's take a look here. Ooh. Looks like GTA. Where did we get that done? Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the like, bro. Alrighty. There we go. That's better. When people on Facebook we get a notification. Although it might be a little too loud. YouTube for some reason doesn't work yet with Streamlabs. I'm not using my alt streaming software. You're in the UK, Jordan Stewart, so you like it when I stream early? What time is it now? I'm guessing it's 7 or 8. All right, so I want to take a look at. You're in South Africa. Oh, Lucas, man, South Africa is a pretty nice place right now, man. I would love to visit South Africa, but you work in the USA. Oh man. Oh my God, it's only 6 o'clock. All right. So I kind of wanna see what is the newest stuff people have released about this game before we see the game. Okay, I want to get excited. I want to get hyped. I want the hype to get going. And I don't want this game to suck because it's one of the biggest games of this year. And it's the first game to come out this year. Win-win between now and in a few days we're gonna get Crew Motorfest. So I'm definitely playing Crew Motorfest. You're in Detroit, right? Definitely playing Crew Motorfest. So besides that, I want to play a couple more games. And September, it's this game, Crew Motorfest, and I can't think of maybe 3 or 4 total. So October is going to be crazy. November, we have anything from Call of Duty to everything else. And December is going to be crazy. And not to mention, next year we might have a GTA announcement, or actual GTA release. So yeah, I want this game to be good because it's the first one and it's single player. That means I can just sit here, play with you guys, and grind and enjoy. It's gonna be fun. Hey Wolf, wait to join up. Everything's great, brother. All right, so let's take a look what we got today. This guy released a skeptical view. It's 27 minutes long. Holy crap, everyone has long ass videos these days. What the hell? Springfield PC gameplay impressions 4K. Huh. That might be cool. Do I want to see? I have not seen any of the game yet. I have not seen any gameplay. Do I want to ruin the first impression of the game by watching gameplay? Is my question to you guys. I can't. Besides the gameplay we're seeing on the mini screen right now, I haven't really looked at it at all. Mortal Kombat, that's the other one. I shouldn't watch any gameplay star since it might be ruining it. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I want to watch a review. That's for sure. I just don't know about a gameplay. See, trailers with gameplay, that's okay. But gameplay, especially something like 100 hours, you're watching the beginning of the campaign. And it kind of ruins your own first, impression. Which I was kind of always sad about because I was so lucky to get early access to Call of Duty and few other games for years. And I enjoyed it. But by the time the game came out, between all the betas and all the early stuff, before even I could play the beta, like in their studios, like we would go to the studios and record in secret weeks before a beta would come out, or weeks before a game would come out. Sometimes we would see the game in development, like 6 months, which was amazingly fun. But by the time the game came out and I had the chance to stream it, I had probably done the beginning part of it, at least the beginning campaign, about freaking 10 times. So it would never be like my first original reaction. Hi, one and only Lee. Good to see you, buddy. This guy released a 10-minute review. I feel like this is going to be fair. It's GameSpot. Is that a big gaming channel? 5.3 million subscribers. I don't know their channel. They must be good. You guys want to take a look at it? They just released it today. Alright, let's give it a try. Real quick before I try, Sold just dropped in a nice message. Hi, I remember you used to stream Minecraft with thousands of your watching. What happened? Well, I took at least a 2-year break, something like that. And then now I've been back for only 3 months. And YouTube doesn't notify everyone all at once. They do like small amounts. They want to make sure I've been back for a while. But I'm not here for that. I just miss streaming, miss playing games, so I'm back doing that, and I'm enjoying it. Hey, Silent Ninja. How you doing? All right, let's give this a try.
And accepted Starfield for what it is, a shooter-focused RPG in the... It's hard to ponder the infinite possibilities of space and not get romantic about it. It's this sense of wonder that makes the prospect of Starfield even more intriguing than just being Bethesda Game Studios' next major RPG. But it's best to cast aside that fascination with the cosmos because, at its core, Starfield follows a very familiar formula without meaningfully engaging with its setting or the gameplay systems therein. It's ultimately a journey that's a mile wide.
Wait. This sounds like a negative review. This sounds like a super negative review. I have not heard a negative review of this game yet. There's negative reviews of this game? Oh, I want to let's watch this again.
Sense of wonder that makes the prospect of Starfield even more intriguing than just being Bethesda Game Studios' next major RPG. But it's best to cast aside that fascination with the cosmos because, at its core, Starfield follows a very familiar formula without meaningfully engaging with its setting or the gameplay systems therein.
Really?
It's ultimately a journey that's a mile wide, but an inch deep. It's undoubtedly impressive in scale, from the sheer number of star systems and planets to the multitude.
A mile wide, talking about how big the game is. Inch deep, meaning there's no depth whatsoever. It's just, if that's the case, this is gonna be disappointing. Wow, I'm almost disheartened. Is this? Hey, let me know in the comments. Do you guys hear a lot of negative reviews? Because I felt like it was nothing but positive, but with some skepticism.
Of game mechanics that tie the experience together. But once you see how all these big ideas are interconnected from a narrative and technical standpoint, the illusion of a grand cosmic voyage starts to wear thin. And so, somewhere along my 55 or so hours spent playing, I dropped the notion of finding that wondrous space adventure and accepted Starfield for what it is, a shooter-focused RPG in the well-tread Bethesda framework.
That sounds bad, but it might not be bad. I am super excited about this, Silent.
Starfield's main quest is the most emblematic of the game's shortcomings. Despite romanticizing the idea of taking to the stars, its narrative ambitions fall into shallow stories that undersell the spacefaring premise. You start as a lowly miner extracting resources, and within minutes you come in contact with an artifact that activates mysterious visions of something greater out in the galaxy. You're then shuffled into the ranks of a small organization called Constellation, whose sole purpose is to chase these artifacts and uncover their purpose. With a handful of characters...
This is not a review. This is playthrough. It's literally telling me what's going to happen in the game. Hello, Spirit. Araceli. I didn't want to know the beginning of the game.
Characters who make up the group, Starfield tries to instill personality into its story, but consistently weak writing and generic dialogue means that these characters, who do have some interesting moments along the way, largely fall flat. It's especially tough to buy into this artifact collecting scenario when the game's story extols the virtues of science, yet undermines them by haphazardly throwing around scientific concepts in dialogue, and then resorting to inexplicable supernatural forces that everyone in game seems to just accept at face value.
This is sounding like a really, really bad review. He hasn't said one thing positive about this game except it's a mile wide. And that was not very positive.
There's very little weight or impact given to what characters often describe as great discoveries that could change the course of history, and it's missing an earnest examination of humanity's place in space, even when it tries to be self-reflective. The wild goose chase that is the main quest lacks strong motivations from a narrative perspective, and the mission structure relies on a predictable formula. You're often shooting your way through mining facilities to dig up these artifacts that your colleagues happen to locate halfway across the galaxy. Or you're fast traveling to faraway star systems to fetch clues, following laughably bad riddles, or having conversations that could have been an email. There are...
First of all, did this guy go to a philosophy class before he wrote this thing? Holy crap, he was really looking for some depth in this. This is sounding pretty bad. I'm hyped for the game. I don't want to hear this.
Occasional breaks in the pace, which lead to memorable moments such as having to navigate the grimy underbelly of the cyberpunk-inspired city of Neon, where
That's what I
all
was
the
thinking
dystopian
too.
archetypes thrive.
It looks
Engaging in
exactly like
conversations to
Cyberpunk.
diffuse tense situations offers some variance in the moment-to-moment beats, but the outcomes are largely the same. You'd be surprised how far a simple persuasion check can get you, yet how little the game cared if things went violent.
Fine, enough. I'll go back, all right?
These
I hate that. I hate getting my way through narrative using persuasion, or even just spending long time talking to an NPC that's not really going to be that important. I I hate spending time talking to NPCs, especially where, yeah, just that example of the points of persuasion. That sounds that sounds really boring to me.
kinds of moments highlight the illusion of choice, where supposed moral quandaries boil down to vague differences in philosophy. But despite the underwhelming revelations throughout the story, Starfield does shine for a moment in how it lets you end your journey, contextualizing New Game Plus in one of the most interesting ways I've seen, while offering a few tangible incentives for a second run. As is tradition,
I didn't catch that. He definitely said you shouldn't do a second run, but what did you say before that?
overwhelming revelations throughout the story, Starfield does shine for a moment in how it lets you end your journey, contextualizing New Game Plus in one of the most interesting ways I've seen, while offering a few tangible incentives for a second run. As is tradition
So you're gonna enjoy the first run so much, it's gonna be great, but then you're gonna hit and never want to do the second one. Is
with
that what he
Bethesda
said?
games, however, the Golden Path questline is not exactly the main course, and it's in the side quests where Starfield is at its best. Here, you set aside the wonders of the great unknown and instead dive into the problems of various factions and the people who've settled in a few cities and towns scattered across the galaxy. One such example is the Crimson Fleet faction questline, where a de facto galactic government coerces you into going undercover inside space's biggest criminal ring, and this chain of quests is one of the finest in a Bethesda RPG. It's not so much the ethical dilemmas or tension you feel when bouncing between the two factions, but the fact that you find yourself in the middle of some wild situations like corporate disputes, intense shootouts, blackmailing characters, and infiltrating high security facilities. Compelling subplots emerge in the process that also tie back to the quest at hand, and you're
This sounds fun. This sounds really fun.
hit with some exceptional set pieces that incorporate multiple facets of Starfield's gameplay systems at a steady pace. Not every optional questline matches that scope and depth, but there are a few flashes of similar quality, like getting caught up in megacorp drama with Ryujin Industries, playing Space Deputy for the Freestar Collective, or standing up to a greedy CEO to help settlers find a new home. Side content comes in varying
sounds
degrees
fun.
of quality, but these are the kinds of rabbit holes you want to fall down.
The cool thing about this game is you can try to be a hero, you can try to be a pirate. I guess you can play it any way you want, supposedly. So that's what I've heard. You don't have to be who they want you to be.
They are what makes Starfield worth unraveling, even if the process often feels like a checklist of objectives to blaze through. While they don't give
I
the
don't like that
impression
part
of
of it.
having major impacts on the galaxy's fate, or explore bigger narrative themes with much depth, side content is dealt out in droves, and the potential of finding something special propelled me to make an effort to discover a worthwhile thread. Through these various quest lines, main story, and side
I'm over it. We kind of got the idea. I actually want to watch the end of it. Let me watch the end of it because I'm curious what it says at the end.
This is what we'd find.
personal. However, it struggles to deliver a cohesive and memorable RPG experience amid the seeming
Shit. You actually found me.
Now, why did I get a feeling this is what we'd find?
This is weird. What the hell is this?
It's good to see you, Barrett.
Starfield has its moments for sure. Its satisfying gunplay makes combat exciting, especially when it's integrated into set pieces within the better quest lines. And although it's limited in its conception of space exploration, there's still a novelty in poking around the galaxy to see star systems up close and personal. However, it struggles to deliver a cohesive and memorable RPG experience amid the seemingly boundless sea of stars. And for all its reverence for scientific philosophy, its stories and characters paint a rather tame and sterile vision for what our spacefaring future could look like. When you strip Starfield down to its essentials, it relies on a tried and true but very well-tread formula and is missing the depth of the games that came before it. Starfield is more concerned with quantity over quality and leaves that experience at the surface level.
That was a That's 7 out of 10. He gave that a 7 out. That's a 7 out of 10 review. That sounded like terrible. Hey, Snipes Plays, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Asteroid, how you doing? Hey, Hike, I love your videos back then when you were my favorite YouTuber. Back then you were my favorite YouTuber. Back then with the GTA videos and streams too. Aw, thanks, brother. Too many back thens in that sentence, though, I gotta be honest. That did not sound like a 7 out of 10 review. That sounded like a freaking 2 out of 10 review. I was kind of excited. Spoken like a true critic. I've been watching you for 8 years. Oh my god, thanks so much, Snipes Place. Thanks for always supporting me and coming back, brother. I really appreciate you. How old are you now? Oh my god. Part 1. Performance review. What is a performance review? Like quality? Oh, I am okay. This is kind of a big one. I want to kind of check this one out. They're comparing an Xbox Series versus XS versus a PC. Yeah, Jack, I'm curious about that. I'm playing it on PC right now. If you see me coughing, there's something in my throat. Sorry, guys. I got a little tickle there. Sorry. Yeah, I kind of want to take a look at it. Let's go. So I made the decision to download it on PC, and I already bought it from Steam and everything, so I can play it tonight or tomorrow. I'm most likely gonna stream it tonight though. But yeah, I wasn't sure. Especially I have an Nvidia. I have Nvidia video card. It's their best video card. I forgot what it's called. So I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Frontier, some say, has long held a fascination for mankind. Video games, and now Bethesda, whom have used this setting to deliver their first new game on Series X and S and PC, and also their very first new IP since Elder Scrolls. Is this a brand new horizon for the studio?
That shit got loud in my ear.
As a galactic RPG rammed with a mix of handcrafted and procedurally generated planets across the Milky Way and beyond, the ability for us to cover it all is not possible. The game has a core story-driven narrative that will lead all players through the same areas by and large, but the 1,000+ something planets will be surplus to that. As the scale is so big, this performance review will break it down into 3 key categories: where it succeeds, where it falls down, and what could be better.
Snipes, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for the kind words, brother.
Alongside potentially having DRS engaged, they additionally use VRS.
I'm glad I could inspire such a good time for you and your friends, brother.
And all these techniques are focused on the best image quality and tightest hold on that 30 FPS rate they both run at, covered in the performance section. The Series X targets 4K as a final output in conjunction with FSR2's reconstruction, and Series S targets 1440p, again via reconstruction. Based on a selection of counts, the game appears to remain at a fixed percentage of this. Counts on Series X under motion were 2560 by 1440, which suggests approximately 66% scale on each axis of 4K based on the PC's menu. Both could dynamically shift between quality, balance and performance levels or thereabouts, but I found no sections where they did from my counts, noted more in the PC segment.
I mean, this doesn't look bad, but I'm sure there's the compression and everything.
Series S comes in much lower as expected, with again fixed counts of approximately 900p, suggesting a 62% scale of 1440, meaning it runs approximately 40% of the Series X resolution, in addition to a few other reductions. Now, ultimately, the Series X image quality is very sharp, stable and clean, helped by the high resolution textures and clean.
It's noticeable. It's noticeable between X and S. If you look at the corners, like, look at the pixelation right here. I'm sure this is because of the video too, but that's what I was looking at.
40, meaning it runs approximately 4. The Series X image quality is very sharp, stable and clean, helped by the high resolution textures and clean lines of much of the world. Sharpening is maybe a little too high, as it can introduce fizzle on subpixel areas such as specular highlights, thin signs, at oblique angles, and even on that GTAO and shadows due to the sparse shading used. But the presentation is very good nonetheless, and would convince most that this is a native 4K output.
I wouldn't have caught it
The
unless
Series
you
S
pointed
is
it out.
not so convincing, but still very good, due to the lower base counts presenting a softer, less stable and noisier image.
You can
than
tell in the
Series
hair.
X.
You can
Details
tell
are
in the
less
hair.
visible, and the image shimmer on AO specular textures is more obvious here. The reconstruction to
Huge difference
1442
here.
via FSR2 is decent in slow-moving sections, and the space sections do tend to look the sharpest. Any
If he
planets
tells me
with
it crashes on
volumetrics,
PC, I'm gonna
denser
pull out
fauna
my
and
hair.
alpha, then the lower pixel counts that VRS and general reconstruction and sharpening passes can cause some breakup and interference.
What's the price difference between an X and an S?
It's never bad, but visibly worse than the Series X, but not to a huge degree. Some of this comes from the lower texture quality the Series S also has over the Series X, with fine details being reduced and MIPS sometimes loading later or using lower quality ones when many are on screen. And in addition,
Really? That's a
many
lot of
effects
difference.
are reduced on
$300?
Series S
Holy
over
crap.
the X. Level of detail is reduced mostly.
Oh, it's only
in graphs
$200
and
difference.
trees
That's
and
not bad.
buildings. Volumetrics, SSAO quality, shadow cascade and filtering, but nothing too drastic. Just nips and tucks to reflect the power difference between the two consoles. In side by
You
side,
can see it in the trees.
Series X certainly looks better than the
On the
S,
left side.
but this will vary on planet
the
to
hair.
planet and scene to scene. You are not losing much in the visual stakes, and you lose none of the game's exploration, combat, AI, and more.
I was so mad when the last Battlefield, what was it, 42? The last Battlefield they released, on my friends had PS4s. I had a PS5, and I was under the impression we can play together. On the PS5, it had 120 people and gigantic maps. On the PS4, it had 60 people and a third of the map. So when they shrink the game for the consoles, it drives me crazy. So I'm glad they did not do that here. It's a good thing you have access to entire place. That would have sucked. Let me see what I got.
One minor negative is the use of VRS can cause heavy blocking of the image, more so on Series S but also on X and even PC, but at least you have the option to disable it there. Now due to this, I did also get some 720p and 400p counts on Series X and Series S respectively, due to that 2x2 pixel structure it uses. And the shift when this kicks in, as you see here with the takeoff, can be obvious. Thankfully, it is not frequent enough to impact the overall great image quality across the board and certainly across the game.
So on my PC, the one I built last month, I have a Radeon RX 7900 XTX black gaming graphics card, 24 gigabytes. Yeesh. I don't mess around, huh? All right, I'll show it to you guys later. Yeah, I'll show it to you now. I hope this is enough. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes it's this guy here. I didn't want to spend extra $800 to $900 for a 4090. It didn't make sense. And I was watching Linus Tech Tips, and he said this is literally 2-3 percentage points off the 4090. So I'm freak. I want that. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't tell me, oh, by the way, it doesn't work on AMD.
The boost in the visuals continue with significantly improved PBR materials. Metallic is still the key material here, but good use of roughness, specular and drop-off help sell the quality. Ground truth ambient occlusion is one of the best screen-spaced AO techniques and used here with high-quality shadow cascades and screen-space shadows for distant objects and contact shadows. The game world looks detailed, vibrant and solid.
I know this is the
especially at a
compressed
distance
video, but
which
it
is
still looks
important
pretty
for
good.
the vistas you will be admiring from miles out. The lighting is important for such a vast game, with fixed points across a 24-hour cycle, enabling soft glows of sunrise, long shadows, and global illumination that adds light bounce and irradiance to external areas. Something you can see in these shots, even with the in-game time waiting option, as you see with the shifts of light through the ship cockpit. Subsurface scattering improves skin tones and light penetration quality, which just enhances the look and feel of characters and the world that little bit more. The animation of characters is robotic as expected, but the improved facial animations, increased bone rigging, and nuance of expression.
I don't understand how GTA or Red Dead can do face and animation better than freaking these guys. Even the fake mouth in GTA looks better than this character's talking. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look fake. It just looks weird. It looks like a 1990s game. The eyes, the face moving, it just looks weird.
Based on emotion, dialogue, and such, is the best yet from the team. With a wide variety of faces to see, voices to hear, and the voice acting itself is
That'd be
great,
awesome.
with a vast cast
If
of
they have a
individuals
jetpack.
that you meet, greet, and more across the story. And this, alongside the custom crafting, shipbuilding, and open-ended RPG elements, all add immensely to the raised quality in the vision.
Bug Mom says that's just a Bethesda aesthetics. I don't think bad is an aesthetic, but I guess go with it if you have it.
And world building stakes, and a variety of clutter is still a key Bethesda staple that reaches for the stars here.
I remember that one. It was my favorite too.
Now, this is one I never expected to include in the successors, but I'm over the moon about it.
Oh, I agree with you. Don't think I don't agree with you. I just never liked it.
30 FPS, like all Bethesda console releases to this day, but as an RPG first and foremost, it's not a huge deal breaker, and our thoughts on the reasons we covered a few months back. Taking the Series X first, across a selection
30
of planets,
FPS
some of the
suck.
denser ones, such as Atlantis City, then it holds a very consistent 33 millisecond frame time, meaning we see some of the most stable performance of any Bethesda title at launch in many a year. Space battles are
This
also very
fight
stable,
scene
at
looks
least the
freaking
smaller ones
epic.
I've had so far, and over a good 10 plus hours of play on each console and PC, I have not experienced any major performance hiccups that have stood out to me, with the caveat that
I mean, 30 FPS on the X series. I'm totally with Joe when he says that's BS. Isn't the X series the brand new console? What's the newest? It is, isn't it? Is that like the? Oh my God, that's kind of low. I mean, with my PS5 on certain games, I get 120. Okay, this monitor can handle 180. On my PC, I get 180 most games. 30 frames for an X series. How old is the X series?
the sheer
I don't know about you, Jack, but I feel like my PlayStation does 4K more than 30 frames. Almost any game.
scale of the game means some of these situations may appear later in the game. That said, it does have a few areas that could be improved. Memory management appears to be
I mean, I'd rather have 1440 and have 60 frames. I'd rather have 1440 and 60 frames. Hey, Life of the
a
Gamer.
key area for the engine and team to improve on. Some areas within that performance level, with a mix of procedural and tailored creation.
Well, let me ask you
assets
this,
and
Jack. Are
objects
you
streaming
happy with
in,
4K
such as
30
when you
frames for
land
this
on
game?
planets being
Brand
the
new
most obvious
game.
but short-lived, causing 300 milliseconds at worst pauses as the data is loaded in ready to use. These are brief, and once loaded into RAM, normal service resumed.
300 millisecond breaks are kind of big. That's a third of a second. You will definitely notice that.
These also crop up during combat.
Yeah,
or
I like that too,
exploration
Jack.
of
That's
bigger
exactly
cities,
why I play
causing brief
1440p
stutter from time
at
to
60
time
frames
that
at
can
the
see
least.
the FPS into the mid-20s at worst.
Life
Again,
of a
all
Gamer likes it,
short-lived and
okay.
point to some areas of streaming which were likely on a patch list for the team. In a selection of combat, both in and out of buildings, though, the readout, so far at least, is very good on both consoles, with the closed-off internal segments being the best of all across all platforms, as the render and engine load here is less intensive,
spoiled?
as these are, as noted in our preview last year, much like the previous games, all hand-built closed.
Hey, Life of the Gamer, I was playing on a PS4 Pro till last year, okay? That's 30 frames, 1080 on everything, okay?
off segments separate from the open planet design outside, and therefore they put less pressure on the hardware. The Series S delivers almost an identical performance rate and shows the team have worked hard to ensure that the console did not suffer over its bigger brother, and reinforces the cutbacks made to ensure similar levels in my tests. The same streaming and loading stutter is to be expected, slightly worse here when it does, and even some dips in the...
If you guys didn't hear about this, you can't land yourself. It has an automated animation for landing. I hope you can control where you're landing on a planet, though. Like, you get to the area you want to land, and then it does it for you. But I hope it's not like you have to land far away and then walk a freaking mile, even though you have a spaceship.
Denser planets may crop up, but considering the size and scale of the game's ambitions, this is the best option, and I'm sure the game is often flipping between CPU, GPU, and memory bound, again, as we noted in our preview, and by running at 30 FPS, this gives each frame a full 33 milliseconds to complete. Above this level, the performance rates would likely not be as solid, and certainly not as consistent on either console, as noted in the PC segment shortly, and thus...
Jack, the streaming one never worked. I still have it. I still have both of them. But yeah, they had a lot of issues. I wish I didn't go with that company. I really wish I didn't go with that company. That's why I have a new one. Snipes, we all work for your money and enjoy it in every way you want to, brother. Literally maximize your fun, get extra Xboxes, couple to hold off the fire pit and the patio, you know. I'm all for enjoying your money. Maximize your fun without ruining anyone else's, brother.
The choice of 30 FPS is the correct one, as we have no major issues to speak of, and I was very impressed with the density of Atlantis, the NPC count, that neither console had any big areas that would cause prolonged dips under 30 FPS,
no
and
judgment
it is heavily
from you,
CPU bound in these areas.
I would put one in my basement if I could afford it. Just for anyone who comes over. You want an Xbox X, go to my basement. I have an extra one for you. I don't have a basement. I just have a crawl space, which is kind of sad.
The game has great ambitions, and indeed greater...
I have mixed feelings about the game. I don't know what to think about this.
Expectations, and stating purely on a technical front, we have to move into the aspects that are disappointing or greatly impede your engagement, immersion, and cohesion of this star-struck tale.
When they start talking like this, I'm like, they started using ChatGPT yesterday, didn't they?
Staying with performance of a different kind, though, is my first negative with the game, and one I had hoped would have been resolved, or at the very least, significantly mitigated with the fast SSDs and memory increase in these consoles. Loading in this game is an issue you simply cannot ignore. If this generation has added little else, loading has been a drastic improvement across the board, and sadly it is here that the old engine base underneath, as improved as its Creation Engine 2 is, start to peek through, and it's likely the biggest anchor on the team's greater ambitions. Walking from an exterior to an interior, loaded screen. Walk into your ship's cockpit, load. Loading Go on a train, load. Lifts, shops, even traveling
the PS5 loading times are unbelievably fast. So I'm curious how the M.2 is going to work on the PC.
Engine limits actually hinder the game's scope and your immersion within it. Compounding this is the time some take to load. Series X here going into a shop can take 3 seconds as it fades to black and back out again. Leaving your ship just over 2 seconds on Series S and Series X, and anything bigger, such as entering a large building or docking onto a ship, can be 5 to 8 seconds.
This kind of times make me feel like Star Citizen. Star Citizen has unbelievably long load times if you don't have a modern PC with an M.2 straight to your CPU.
Seconds, and fast travel is anything but, with some taking 12 seconds or more. Even sections that should be in real time in gameplay, such as docking or undocking, show an unskippable sequence that takes around 7 seconds. The issue here is these all start to add up, and the time it takes and how much it breaks up your enjoyment and flow of the game, with the clear split of boxed off areas of a planet, buildings or ship being hard to ignore as these soft boundaries keep bumping into you. with the limit being that even on a planet's surface, you can only go so far and you hit an invisible wall,
Wait, what?
necessitating a return to your ship pop-up or pick a new spot closer to the equidistance of what you wanted to actually look at.
Wait, what? You have a range around your ship that you have to stay within? That kind of sucks.
This is my biggest gripe and a missed opportunity, as you cannot land on planets yourself and explore them without impedance. And this is where I will bring
So what
the
is the landing
elephant
like then?
into the room.
So
No Man's Sky has one of the most immersive and impressive things about that game, and why you can lose yourself within it, is the seamless nature of station, ship, space and planet travel. Flying into or out of a planet's atmosphere, through the volumetric clouds, across
This
the
looks
surface,
gorgeous.
landing anywhere and back up again never gets old. Jumping into warp speed and feeling like the entire galaxy is yours to explore. Sadly, Starfield fails at capturing this feeling or wow factor, as these moments, which should have been core from a gameplay and certainly technical perspective, are missing or lacking. Many story-driven planets
how you
have key
travel?
segments to land within. These are largely not procedurally built, with limited spots on the entire planet to land on and take off from, mostly down to the surface type, to be fair,
Oh.
i.e. oceans and such.
I was literally
meaning
saying
it is
earlier,
no
I hope
longer
it
a
doesn't have
planet
this.
per se, but actually small segments of a round sphere that you can never travel across, into or out of freely, effectively limited by that memory allocation they can work with in real time.
Wow.
Planets are just there as an oil painting. Keep boosting and it just hangs in front of you like a star you can never reach. The
Are you kidding me? That's really sucky. I thought the whole point of it was exploration.
procedural ones do allow you to land pretty much anywhere on the surface. Sadly though, these two are just canned cutscenes of your ship landing at the spot and off again, which alongside the long and frequent
it's not all
loading
of them like
impacts
that.
the feeling of a pure sci-fi adventure it promised, and No Man's Sky still does this part significantly better.
Hey Snoopy, if you're around later, let's do some Rocket League, buddy.
The cities and habitats are much bigger, fuller and lively in this sense, and No Man's Sky simply cannot compete with the high budget of characters, branching story, voice acting, combat and richer places to visit being a highlight. The problem is, it feels like all previous Bethesda titles in so many regards that the space exploration element plays a back seat to these fixed and limited denser areas, mixed up with barren rocks, sand dunes, monsters and little else to look at. In fact, in many ways it feels like an enhanced version of Fallout, meaning the heart of the game is within that linear narrative which has those RPG elements that make it your very own, but it fails to bring the galaxy into a Bethesda world.
Oh my god. Really? Was that a thing? Oh my god, look at that glitch. Honestly, it's fine. All
Now,
games
all
have
prior
glitches like
Bethesda
that, but it's
titles
pretty funny.
have been known and loved as much for the worlds they create, but the freedom and physics and dynamic nature they also offer. And Starfield does the same here, with a data-driven engine driving AI, object destruction, combat, dialogue,
Alright.
with heavy use of state models.
I'm waiting for
many
his
of these.
PC performance
Physics
testing.
are
There we
key,
go. AMD and
work as
Nvidia.
well here as before.
AMD and
mostly
Nvidia,
anyway.
that's where he's talking
but really
about it.
are no better
Okay.
and have not seen the same improvements, to the same degree at least, as the visuals, and in some ways can actually be worse. You still get crazy physics of bodies bouncing, high friction on
I like
contact, deflated balloon-like deaths, and even sticking to railings or just bouncing off into orbit. AI is still pretty terrible, with enemies just strolling around without a care in the world as you shoot them in the head, or even just standing in fridges alone staring at walls. It can get lonely in space, I suppose.
See it, place.
Companion AI can be the most egregious though, with it often freezing during combat, being stuck in poses, and most annoyingly, walking in front of you mid-battle getting shot, and sometimes never entering combat. Now I know Sarah is a tough cookie, but in the middle of a firefight, this is not the time to shoot the breeze and ask about my day.
Find
Oh
any
my
sign
God.
of Vanguard Moara. Keep your eyes open.
A few minutes later.
My parents considered themselves to be enlightened, but their lives were so busy they rarely
You picked the wrong fight.
As humorous and ironic as these moments can be, they can distract
This is
from the
gonna be funny.
dramatic story and realism it aims for. AI specifically remains limited
Jack,
in
I
many
think it's gonna be
aspects, and it leaves
Stormtroopers
combat
for
good,
sure.
but not significantly better than any previous game, with many of the
I mean, they
enemies
look
presenting
ridiculously
little
dumb.
challenge, even less awareness, and a grip on life that is marginally stronger than your average chicken. The amount of weapons, customizations, and good use of motion blur on hands, the guns themselves with depth of field, helps the visceral fun the firefights offer.
I mean,
working
no one is not
significantly
getting
better
shot
in
from any
first
direction.
person. Not a surprise when id Tech helped the team out in some visual embellishments.
Headshots
as
are
fun
OP,
as
apparently.
they can be, it does not differentiate itself sufficiently from prior games. The space battles, although a welcome change, and some missions use the setting well, they never feel complete enough, and dogfighting, at least in my playtime so far, is good, but bigger battles, more dramatic set pieces would have helped immensely here. Fundamentally,
I
more
wonder if
could
they're
be
gonna have
done here to elevate
updates
all
to
three
create
aspects
it
of the
more
title,
like
and none of
DLCs.
this is due to the hardware limits covered next.
The shields are back! When did that happen?
Now, being a DX12 title, then shader stutter is a potential issue. Fear not, though, as the game pre-builds these on first boot, and on my AMD RX 6800 with a 5600X CPU, it took approximately 45 seconds.
All right, hold on. This is important. He has the AMD RX 5600. Okay.
Now, being a
Yeah,
DX12
the info
title,
is on
then
the right,
shader
top right,
stutter is
top
a
left.
potential issue. Fear not, though, as the game pre-builds these on first boot, and on my AMD RX 6800 with a 5600X CPU, it took approximately 45 seconds. Once done, I never saw a single hiccup or stutter that I could attribute to shader compilation at least, so a strong start for Bethesda here. It continues with options with 4K plus possible, 120 FPS, possibly more, and a wealth of tweaks to visuals and world density can be made. They're not
How high should I stream it in? I should at least go 60 frames at... Yeah. I don't know what resolution I should stream it at. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts.
the most
Hi,
exhaustive,
Killerman.
but decent nonetheless. No detail on what each option does aside some text, so a visual guide or transparent menu here would help. They scale performance on my AMD rig here at 4K FSR2 reconstruction using a 65% scaling factor, roughly 1440p. Now, of note is the menu has a DRS option, but this also appears ornamental currently, or it's set far too soft to make an impact. Multiple counts when my
I'm looking at it. The low, you can definitely tell it's a low. I'm looking at the bushes. I'm looking at the ground. Hey, CPT. I've been good, buddy. Yeah, I definitely like it better. Ultra
machine was
setting.
at 4K 100% scale at 30 FPS levels, all counts were 4K. Backing this up with performance testing on versus off at Ultra saw 0% uplift and points to the fact that it likely doesn't work. Maybe a later update will enable on PC and console, which is why I found no shifts in resolution from this review code build at least. With the machine high at 65% scale, we will see 60 FPS mostly on interior sections and firefights, but out on planet surfaces you are GPU bound and possibly bandwidth,
Wow.
with mid-40s at best here. CPU is not the factor at this section, but in the dense
Probably too,
NPC
Jack.
areas this shifts, and now AI path finding, animation, draws and more push the bottleneck onto the CPU.
I probably won't put it on Ultra because I'm using the same PC to stream too. I have multiple PCs. It's just easier to do it this way, guys.
As we surmised in our preview. And now the CPU is barely above 30
I'll probably have it
FPS,
super high, though.
reinforcing the console cap, which would require a far more powerful CPU than my decent 5600X here, and even GPU, as at 1080p the 6800 can still dip into the low 50s due to GPU workloads. It does utilize threads across the CPU.
What's my CPU? It's a Ryzen. It's the newest Ryzen 9. Hold on, let me see what my CPU is. I always forget this kind of shit. That's why I always look at it up. Okay, I honestly built it, but I just totally forgot. It's AMD as well. I just don't want to misstate it. Okay, here we go. It's a Ryzen 9 7950X 16 core. So yeah, I went gaming hardcore crazy. So I should be able to handle Ultra maybe.
Areas this shifts, and now AI pathfinding, animation,
Toko, I was just saying we start streaming early for you, and you're not even here. Welcome back, buddy. I told everyone I was gonna give you some shit.
draws, and more push the bottleneck onto the CPU, as we surmised in our preview. And now the CPU is barely above 30 FPS, reinforcing the console cap, which would require a far more powerful CPU than my decent 5600X here, and even GPU, as at 1080p the 6800 can still dip into the low 50s due to GPU workloads. It does utilise threads across the CPU very well, but it still has a tendency to rely on that one main worker thread, which is likely to be the main bottleneck most of the time when you are CPU bound. As such, a variable level of performance is required, or 1080p with a mix of medium settings on this machine may get you a 60-ish level, with weaker hardware needing to really target 30 FPS.
So unless you're on the top, if you have a medium gaming system, you should probably run it at 1080 high or 144 medium or something like that. Sounds like at Ultra you even have problems with the top-end GPUs.
Moving to the top end in a Monster RTX 4090 paired with 64GB of system RAM and an i9 13900K, then 1440p Ultra at 60 FPS is possible. Some minor dips below aside, it feels smooth in firefights and exploration, but even here you may find some dense cities could cause CPU dips on occasion below that 16 millisecond frame time. But as the top of that PC tree, it would be nice to see DRS working, DLSS 2 or 3 to come in a later patch to complement the good use of FSR2 here, which does work as well on Nvidia and Intel cards as AMD at least. The game is too demanding on hardware based on the results on screen, with the procedural elements, high texture and lighting quality along with heavy CPU demands makes this a title that will bring many gaming rigs to their knees for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely very intense. I hope those loading times will be dropped though, you know? I don't like games that always look dark. That's one thing I'm not excited about, this game looking dark as hell like this. Ooh! Although that looks fun as hell.
Is the biggest Xbox and Bethesda game for the past 5 years, at least. And on a technical front, it does a great many things right. World details, PBR materials, lighting, nailing that 70s sci-fi visual fidelity with clear Alien 2001 and more design cues and stylistic flair. From the wealth of the shipbuilding elements, character model improvements, to space battles, pirate bounty hunters and mystique, it reaches for the elites of this world. My single biggest issue with it all though is the separate pieces never connect as a whole. The disjointed nature of planet travel, canned animations and excessive loading and management of memory greatly distracts from a rich story and possibilities underneath. From AI that cannot stay alive or out of the line of fire, a lack of great set pieces or wow moments, at least in the first 15 hours or so of the main story, the quality, performance and scale is very impressive, with PC and console versions being demanding, but the best yet for a launch game. I am sure Xbox and AMD helped the team out on that score, but ultimately it is another good, dynamic and fun game from the studio, one that you will lose hours in for sure, but one that fails to reach the star it lit up in 2018 in many ways.
That's the second review we watched that says the same exact thing.
But relative to the time, it still takes the helm of their most pioneering game. Maybe with patches to come, they can improve the pitch on this Starfield.
We got a rook on deck. Good to...
That was IGN, guys. Starfield performance review. That's the second review we watched where people were saying it lets you down in a story. It's not too deep. It's very surface level. The performance is going to be hard. If you're trying to play 4K and you have an X, sounds like you'll be able to do it. You know, not with an S. The PC, unless you have a hardcore CPU and GPU, you might have some struggles. I was a little more hyped than I am right now after those two reviews. I want a really good positive review, but I don't think there is one. I know, Jack, I was saying the same exact thing. Toko says, looks like my PC is gonna struggle with this. Am our negative reviews a mandatory thing on YouTube, or is it really not going to be that great? Let's not get discouraged, guys. Let's stay positive, because God damn it, I was looking forward to this, and they make it sound like it's going to be like very surface level. Yeah, yeah. We just were trying to learn as much new information as we can, and we got stuck at looking at a few different reviews. We were trying to find new information without looking at gameplay to get hyped. See, this sounds scary. Starfield is Bethesda's best game. Brutally honest review. I mean, why is the brutally honest review there? It makes it sound like it's going to be really bad. Looks like I'll finally play God of War. Speaking of playing other games, God of War is one of mine I think I should do. Also, another one of mine I think I should do. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time for these, because with all the new games coming out, but shoot, what was the one? Anyway, I got a few games like that I should play. The hell was it, the one? It's the one where you're hunting robots with a girl character in it's like robot dinosaurs. I forgot what it was called. My friend loves it. Hi THF, how you doing, buddy? Oh, you want me to play that, Toko? Okay. Hopefully they remaster Ghost of Tsushima. I have not played Ghost of Tsushima yet. Should I play it? Hey, Joe, the content creator. Yeah. Oh, you must be an old fan. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you here. Yum yum. Yum yum. Yum 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 yum. THF is wondering how our day has been, guys. We were super excited about this, THF, and then we watched a couple reviews, and now we're sad about it. Yeah. Well, not sad, but still encouraged and hyped, but slightly worried. I feel like that's a good description. I'm curious to see what YouTube is saying we should watch. What, by the way, is anything happening in the world right now I should be aware of? Hi, Brandolph. We just watched a couple Starfield reviews. They make it sound like it's going to be so-so. But we're trying to stay positive, buddy. Are you going to play it? You're not going to play it? Are you still stuck on Dark and Darker? Brendan really wants me to play Dark and Darker with him. Should we do Dark and Darker, everyone? Too many things to play. I know. I'm going to give as much as I can try. I want to get lost in something, so I might do like 10 episodes of a game, and if I'm not really getting lost in it, I'm like going to say, screw it. Joe, no, I'm Batman. Stop it. Toko says that's how usually it is. We get super excited, and then it doesn't work out. Need for Speed Unleashed was kind of good, actually. I wasn't expecting much, but it was pretty good. Ooh, speaking of something like that, I found a fun video for us to give it a try. 20 things developers didn't think we would try. Anyone would try, huh? Let's see what else is around. Brandolph, what are you gonna play besides those two? Well, Dark and Darker. What are you gonna play besides Dark and Darker? I like it, brother. Top news. Oh my god, I feel bad for freaking. Did you guys see the Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell thing freeze up? I after like 20 seconds I couldn't watch it. It was pretty bad. Payday, of course you're gonna play Payday 3. You've been screaming it nonstop. Let me see what. we let the devs get as hype. They're saying we can try and stay on the ship for a week, or stay in a city, walk around for a week, or do pointless tasks. However you want to play it. I'm hoping it'll be good, brother. It's like saying we don't have a good game for you. Figure out your own fun. I don't really talk about him freezing up, but he was creepy, and I hope he's okay. Yeah. World biggest car has an apartment in it? That sounds like... What? S tier exploration title. I saw a video of a guy walking 10 minutes before spawn hitting invisible wall. We were just watching that. It has a memory buffer around the ship, so you can walk only so far away from your ship, and if you run your memory limit, it literally asks you, do you want to spawn to your ship and fly closer or some shit like that. It's stupid. I was so excited for No Man's Sky, and the way it turned out, it was super sad, okay? But No Man's Sky had a better landing system than this game. At least in No Man's Sky, you can just land anywhere you want compared to this. I don't know why they don't just load the area you're not in and just keep a bubble around you of everything you can see loaded up like they do in most games. You know, in Rick and Morty, when they're in a simulated world and he just freezes everything up and runs off? Kind of like that. No Man's Sky is so good now. Are you serious? Should I play No Man's Sky? I was so hyped for that, and it was such a gigantic letdown to me. I don't know, is it good? I've heard a few people talk about it, but Jack, we don't go into too much politics here, because when you start talking about politics, what happens is instead of disagreeing with each other, we start hating each other. Oh, that's the motto in the United States, I feel like. No Man's Sky is good. I like that topic better. Joe Rogan. No, no Joe Rogan together. It's not gonna be. Every time I watch Joe Rogan, I feel I leave sad. You know what I mean? Brendan said it went from being the worst review on the game to being the most positive. That's freaking crazy. We have bald eagles too. Dude, you know I'm American. It's my bald eagle too. I relate to him in many ways. It's like 7 years of content. Oh my god. Brandon, you're trying to sell me No Man's Sky really hard, huh? I actually saw it in my... I still have it in my Steam, for sure. Toko, I don't want to give Cyberpunk a third try. I gave it 2 tries and it let me down twice. Eat the french fries. Oh man. I'm a huge fan of french fries and I can't eat french fries anymore. Brendan, guys, Brendan is the one who got me to do... well, it didn't get me, but he was talking about his keto diet and I figured I'd try it. And oh my god, Brendan, everything's fine. I've lost like 9 pounds in 4 days, which is unbelievable. I don't know how that's possible. But the other thing, the only thing that bothers me is I need my latte. And I already discussed how latte makes me feel when I say that word. And oh my god, no milk in my coffee makes my tummy hurt. I had ulcers in the military from drinking so much coffee without milk. I will definitely come to Belgium. I love Belgium. I will visit and stay there for weeks. Honestly, brother, I love it. It's fine. I've lost a lot of weight. I don't mind the food. I don't get hungry. It's just I can't find the milk substitute that doesn't taste like shit. I like soy milk, but soy milk has sugar in it. I tried almond milk, and almond milk after a while in your coffee tastes like almond oil. It just doesn't taste good. I think the heat from the coffee ruins it. Russell is here too, guys. The whole Grand Theft Alien team is here. We have Russell, who did all the video mods and everything. We have Brendan, who did all the audio, and then we have both Russell and Brendan, who did all the writing. I was just doing bad voiceovers, I promise. Overhaul with a Phantom Liberty update. You guys are trying to get me to play 2 of the worst game releases, telling me it's the best thing ever. Brandon has been trying to sell me on No Man's Sky nonstop. Oh, by the way, I'm so proud of this idea. You two, I've been bothering Brandon for like emoji ideas on how to do stuff. Brandon, you behave or I'll shoot you. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, Russell just got shot. Also, reviewers who have heard about the problems with limited reaches or whatever were like, it's not a big deal. You'll see when you play, so hopefully it's not a big deal. We saw a review that pretty much said what's happening is it's got a memory buffer around your ship. So if you walk too far away from your ship, it just tells you have to get to your ship and fly closer to explore this area or something like that. You think No Man's Sky will be better than Starfield? I need opinions. Everyone join up here. You think No Man's Sky? It doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. The part that bothers me, Ross, is that you cannot land on a ship on the Earth yourself. You have to go through cutscenes. Yeah, you can't just pick a place to land and land there if you have to go through a cutscene. Brandon's bringing all the code lingo here. Kappa cool. I did love flying in No Man's Sky though. That was fun myself. That's a good game. I like that kind of game. I feel like Starfield. Well, let me ask you this question, guys. Which one is closer to Star Citizen? Hey, Ares. You changed your name back to Ares. I finally learned Realist, and now you changed back to Ares. God damn it, man. It's alright. I know this is your old one. Starfield for sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. I think Starfield might have more of a campaign than Star Citizen does. You're good, brother. Alright, I want to watch this. I started watching this earlier, and I'm like, you know what? I want to jump in and stream and watch this. Genuinely, I watched this till like the 3rd one, and I'm like, this is kind of fun. Yeah, it goes through a couple different ones. By the way, the title is 20 Things Developers Didn't Think Anyone Would Try. Have developers met us, the gamers? I feel like that's a ridiculous sentence. Of course, they knew we were going to try everything. They might have not realized how crazy we are, but there's no way they didn't know we were going to try everything. Freaking A. I can't think of the different things we've... Yeah.
Game developers have to think of tons of different situations that a player could cause in a game that are out of the ordinary, but they don't think of all of them. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanks, 20 things developers didn't think anyone would try. Starting off with number 20 in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the easy Guardian Stalker kills. Obviously, the devs didn't see this.
I have not played Breath of the Wild. I feel like I missed out on playing it now. It's too late now, I feel like.
Guardian robots that stalk around pretty much everywhere in Hyrule, mostly around ruins, but you'll find them from time to time in different areas, particularly playing dead. That's always a fun one to stumble upon. They look like they're disabled, but then you get close to them, they spring to life and get to fire in their
Who played
laser.
this game?
It's an old meme, but it checks out.
Anyone
These
in the chat played
Guardians
this?
can be dispatched easily. You just use stasis on them. If you do it while they're pretending to be dead, then instead of getting frozen like usual, they'll just fall through the ground and instantly die. These things are supposed to be incredibly
That's
deadly,
kind of
but they're
overpowered.
rendered complete chumps with this simple trick.
That's so overpowered. I love it though. I hope it didn't get upgraded.
At number 19 is Doom.
I haven't played
the
it either.
2016 reboot. Doing extra damage with the weapon wheel. Another one of those ridiculously easy tricks that can't be intentional. In the first Bethesda-published Doom game, you have a weapon wheel that slows down time when you open it up. Simple enough, right? It doesn't have any effect on weapons that do damage over time, except for one, the BFG 9000. You fire this thing and immediately open up the weapon wheel to slow down time. The BFG shot is going to continue to do...
I heard about this. This was so overpowered. People were trying it in different games. I think I tried it in Red Dead Redemption.
Do damage while being slowed down, and by the time the shot disappears, it could easily do 3 times as much damage as it would normally. Pre-patch, it was
Shakespeare, that was
more
pretty crazy,
powerful,
right?
something like 10 times as much damage. But even in its current weakened state, 3 times as much damage is still a lot, and makes it so you can take off a pretty big chunk of a boss's life bar.
This is
with
my
very
type of
little
a
effort.
glitch. This is my type of a glitch. I love finding this kind of stuff.
At number 18, a classic Grand
Because
Theft
you're
Auto San
beating the
Andreas,
game
holding square while
in a
riding an
different
up
way
bike.
they want you,
Why
than they
this
want
happens,
you to.
I don't know, and I'm talking about the PlayStation controller, obviously.
This
but
is an
you'll
old
hold
one.
down square while tapping X, and CJ's body will get all screwed
I
up
used to
and
do
twisted
this.
with elongated arms.
I
and
used to
weird
do
effects
this.
on him. Only happens in the PlayStation 2 version of the game, might I add.
Sometimes
So
you can
Rockstar
do it
managed
going
to
down a
patch it
hill
out
and he
with
would
later
get
releases,
dragged by the
but
bike.
The trick still works in the PlayStation version. It serves no practical purpose, but it's bizarre and
Thanks,
very
Russian
fun to
Cam.
screw
You're the
around
best.
with. At number 17,
Shakir, Russian
using
Cam, Shakir,
dog meat to
Russian
open any lock in Fallout 4. Master level locks in Fallout 4 require you to have pretty high lock-picking skills to unlock them, or you can just...
I wish I knew this in Fallout 4 when I was playing it. I wish I knew this. This would have been so overpowered. Oh my
just
god.
have a dog. The first companion you meet is good old Dog Meat, who is so good at fetching, he can literally fetch anything, even if it's behind the most complex locking mechanisms. And don't question it, it's Dog Meat. He's a good boy, right? All you have to do is bring Dog Meat with you to a master level lock, use the fetch item command, and he'll automatically grab whatever's nearby. That means you can get the Cryomancer from the first vault, which is supposed to be a thing you come back for after dozens of hours, within minutes instead.
I stared at that
And
thing
number
sadly
16
for
is Hogwarts Legacy.
so long
You
while
can-
the dogs
we're gonna call this
stood around
Just
me.
Fly away. Trolls are some of the toughest enemies in Hogwarts Legacy, but they've got one fatal flaw. They're dumb. Like, dumb as hell. Normally, each fight, one of these guys is supposed to be a grueling and dangerous battle, but don't bother with that. Just get their attention, jump on a broom, and watch as they just follow you over a ledge to their immediate deaths. Getting the timing right can be a little tricky, but getting too far away from these guys, and they'll just chuck rocks at you. But otherwise, it's really easy to clear out the trolls that developers probably didn't expect players to do, because it's almost too easy.
Wow, that's
At
awesome.
number 15 is
That's
Grand Theft
freaking
Auto
awesome.
4,
I didn't play that
driving
game, by the
into
way.
a
I wish I
swing
played
set. Yeah,
Hogwarts.
the world of this game is a dangerous place, but the most deadly things in Liberty City are the swing sets of doom. Known as the swing set glitch or the launch glitch, there is something extremely wrong with the physics of the swing sets in this game. If you drive into the wrong angle, you'll just suddenly find yourself
We need
careening
swing sets
through
in
the
GTA
air
6.
halfway across the city. I mean, getting it exactly right can take a little bit of practice. Sometimes driving into these things just crushes your car. or
Oh
sends you
my God,
flipping
I wish
back
we had
into a
this in
brick wall
GTA
at 100
5.
miles an hour. But if you're lucky, they will shoot you across the map in a way that is just baffling. The
Why
best part
do they
about it
fix
is that
this kind of
Rockstar never
glitches?
patched it out. You can still do it, and it's just as glorious as it ever was. And
Why does GTA always take stuff like this out? It doesn't harm anyone and it's fun as hell, except it can glitch certain things out. But besides that, it's fun as hell.
Number 14 is Metal Gear Solid 5's airmail attack. Outside of the box thinking is one of the big fun things about Metal Gear Solid 5. It enables
I
a
had
lot.
this
but
a
this
lot.
trick was
I
clearly
love
one of
this
the few
game.
things that was not intentional because it was eventually patched out. Originally, calling a supply airdrop wasn't just useful for restocking equipment. It was also a deadly weapon. It wasn't that useful for taking out patrolling guards, but great for stationary targets like snipers. Early on in the game, you fight the sniper Quiet, which is supposed to be this tense thing where you have to
I
sneak
remember
up
this.
on her, but using this method, she becomes way, way easier. Just one hit from a falling box is enough to end the mission. Getting the positioning right can be a little tricky. But with a
I
little
wish
bit
I
of
knew
practice,
that.
You can end the mission in literally seconds.
That's
It's super
hilarious.
patched out 'cause it's one of the best tricks in the game.
That's just. Can you? I love this. Why did they patch this? This is hilarious. Oh,
And
that's
number
the
15 is
hilarious.
Or switching guns while aiming. We're talking about the original game here, just for clarity.
Russell goes, there's a great glitch in Elden Ring where you could jump out of the castle a boss was in and get far enough away that the castle despawns and he fell to his death through the ground. I love that. I love glitches like that. It's just beating the game in a new way.
Sake. Known as the Ditman glitch, probably one of the most infamous tricks in all of Resident Evil 4. And pulling it
By
off
the way,
is surprisingly
despawning the
easy.
castle, that's
All
so
you have to do
smart.
is get a striker shotgun, quickly open up your inventory and switch to a new weapon. You have to do it pretty quick. If you see the laser sight coming out of the striker, you're too late. But it's not all that difficult to pull off once you get the hang of it. If done correctly, Leon will start doing absolutely everything faster, about 1.5 times faster. So stuff like reloading, using a knife, moving around, it's noticeably sped up. It's essentially a
why?
speedrunner trick that you're not really a speedrunner if you don't use it.
I don't understand the mechanics of that. Why would that affect it?
Because, wow, does it really speed things up. It also makes the game a lot easier when it's active. And all it takes to do is a specific shotgun and some moderately tricky timing.
How did that happen? I wonder, is that a bad patch they did that you can bypass?
And number 12 is dung pie protection in Dark Souls. In this game, there is a mostly useless item called a dung pie, which is exactly what it sounds like. You can throw it at enemies, and it'll build up the toxic effect on them, which can be incredibly effective in certain situations, but there's a major drawback. You also get toxic buildup every time you use one.
Are you
Toxic's
serious?
basically like super poison. It does tons of damage and is an all-around nasty status effect, but here's the thing. It could be worse. One of the most annoying sections of the game is a place called Blighttown. If you don't know Blighttown, you haven't played this game. But it's this miserable hanging shanty town that's dark, confusing, and filled with these infuriating enemies that use blow darts to inflict toxic on you. It makes this place miserable to try to explore, but certain players figured out an easy counter to these guys. You just give yourself toxic from the dung pies, which for some reason do way less toxic damage than if you get it from the blow dart snipers.
That's genius. If you're already poisoned, how much worse can it get?
Basically, it's kind of like a vaccine where you slightly infect yourself to build up protection.
That's a genius.
Who
Who tried that?
Trick that sounds counterintuitive, but can be incredibly helpful for getting through this infuriating section of the game. 11 is
I
Half-Life
love that
2,
idea.
standing on something you're holding. In Half-Life 2, the player could hold a small flat object underneath themselves and jump repeatedly. Since the object is basically treated as a platform and carried objects are held at a set distance,
You could go up
use
as high
this
as you
to
want.
hover over sizable parts of the level when done right. It's since been patched in Episode 1 and onwards, but it's still a vital part of the Half-Life 2 done quick speedrun. I mean, this game revolutionized the way games use physics, but it was not perfect. Case in point, this whole thing. And
That sounds dangerous. Hi, CPT. Welcome back.
10, Tomb Raider, The Angel of Darkness, accessing a secret unused tutorial. This one's just bizarre. Part of it's intentional, but the rest,
I played this game,
we'll
I
get
remember.
there. Angel of Darkness was an infamously broken game at release, and this is a fun glitch that's a good example of that. If you use a level select code and use it to replay the first level, for some reason you can climb this ladder that normally ends the level without getting the required key first. That's not the interesting part, though. Normally that's where the level ends, but if you're playing the level this way, it keeps going, and you can see a big piece of cut content that they just left in the game. It's the entire tutorial, which for most games, cutting out a tedious tutorial section would make them better, but for this game, a lot of this actually feels pretty essential, and it's never explained to the player in the real game. Most of the
That's
time,
crazy.
accessing cut content is a chore, but with this, all it took was a level select code. The devs on this game must not have had a lot of faith in this one, so they didn't think anyone would want to replay the first level. At number 9, the
They left tutorial stuff into the game. I mean, that's kind of lame. I didn't even care
original
about
Red
that.
Dead Redemption turning dynamite into a heat-seeking missile. Apparently, this one's pretty well known, but in all my years of playing and replaying
I
Red
did
Dead
not know
Redemption,
that.
I've never noticed it.
I did
The
not
trick
know
here
that.
is incredibly simple. Anyone can do it. You grab some dynamite or a fire bottle, activate Deadeye, and target something moving fast like a bird.
I did not know
Deadeye
that.
works for throwables somehow. They always
I did not know that.
perfectly hone in on whatever you targeted, and it's amazing every time. Dynamite turns
Oh
into
my
a
God.
missile that chases a bird through the air.
I love
It's
it.
against my avian brothers and sisters, but notable.
That's not dynamite, by the way. Is not a what is this called? The bottle with tissue and fire in it. Molotov cocktail. That's a Molotov cocktail. That's not a
Nonetheless, or
dynamite.
it'll follow a guy down
That's
the
a
street, too,
dynamite.
which is fine. Completely fine. John Marston's aim is so good that he can break down all laws of physics, and this one's one of the best and easiest tricks to pull off in any.
So it works with dynamite and Molotov cocktails. I had never tried that. I know it worked with a knife and stuff.
And number 8 in Final Fantasy VIII, loading up on tents. This is a game that's
Hi,
just made to be
Turbo!
broken. It's pretty much built on a bazillion confusing interlocking systems, so players just have to struggle through it the first time without really knowing what to do. But once you start looking into how everything works, it becomes clear how incredibly easy it is to blow this game wide open. This little trick's where it all starts. The first thing to do, if you want to completely neuter
Which Final Fantasy is this one? I don't know if I played this one. I played 7.
the difficulty is just get a bunch of money by doing
And
the
11.
exams, which are not hard. And if you fail, you can just do them again.
Oh yeah,
So
that
completing
sucks.
all
I
these
gotta
exams gets
I
tons
gotta
of cash.
look
You
into it.
spend it on buying
I
a
heard
whole
about
lot
this
of
yesterday.
tents. Normally, you wouldn't need a bunch of tents, but in Final Fantasy VIII, you can refine items and transform them into spells, which can be junctioned into your stats. If you have not
Shakvir,
played this game,
Russian
it's all
Camp
gibberish,
says
and
his
if you
favorite
have,
glitch
it's still
was
kinda gibberish. But long
Yankton.
story short, you
I
give
miss
yourself a
Yankton.
massive boost of HP
North
right
Yankton.
at the start of the game, making all the bosses and enemy encounters for a big chunk of the
I
experience.
remember this enemy. I don't remember which one this was.
You can do so much to kill the difficulty, but this first step is so easy it almost feels like cheating. But it's all built right into the game.
Turbo,
It's
stay
supposed
around.
to
We're
be.
gonna.
The developers
I want to look into
just
that.
didn't
price
understand
increase.
the monster they were creating. And number 7 is Dead Rising 2's overpowered toy spitball gun. One of the more annoying bosses in Dead Rising 2 is against the helicopter, where the trick is that you're supposed to throw a bunch of junk at a propeller to damage and then completely destroy it. It's an awkward fight where you're relying on
seems
whatever
stupid.
crap is lying around, but there is an unintentional way to make part of this a lot easier. All you need is this toy called the spitball gun.
Oh, that's
Normally
a
this thing's
genius.
completely harmless. It just shoots out ping pong balls that
This is
technically count
genius.
as objects. So they do damage to the propeller like if you threw anything else into them. Keep in mind, regular guns don't work against this thing because bullets don't count as objects.
Wait,
So
what?
In this instance, the spitball gun is way more powerful than a literal machine gun.
This
which
seems
makes
ridiculous.
Zero sense, but it makes for a much easier fight.
Yeah, definitely grab the speedball gun. I would carry that around for this boss fight for sure. Instead of running around like an idiot, whoever discovered this, freaking
And number
genius.
6 is Alice Madness Returns, the simply turn on the DLC trick. This couldn't have been intentional, right? Like for everything else on this list, these are tricks you could do in the game that are unintended, but
I want to talk to you about it because I accidentally bought maybe 5 years of PlayStation Plus.
here it's let's just get into it. This is a lot. Alice
Not
Madness
recently,
Returns is a game
years
with
ago.
DLC that you can't get anymore, but when you could, it was on EA's Origin platform. Now, you'd think that would mean that if people wanted access to the DLC content, they'd be screwed, right? Not so much, because for some reason, all the DLC was just included in the game, and if you wanted to activate it, all you had to do is open up an INI file in the game folder and change one value from false to true.
This
and
is
that
just an old
it.
game
The DLC is
glitch.
literally locked by a file that you can open and edit in Notepad.
This is just an old game glitch. I used to open up a notepad and change the numbers in like City Empire or something like that, an old game. So I would have a lot more money and stuff like that. All it was is just a notepad file, and it really genuinely was assigned to your campaign, and you can change anything from your skills to your how much money to how much loot. It's unbelievable. It was awesome. It's just an old game thing.
It's nice for players who want to get all this stuff.
Hi,
that's been
Gaming
delisted,
Ford
but
Power.
I
How
feel
you doing,
like
buddy?
That can't have been intentional, right? I mean, how many
I haven't
times
seen
have
you in a
you
while,
seen a game where the paid
Ford.
content can be turned on by not paying for it, but editing a text file, essentially? I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's pretty much unheard of. There would be no.
No, it's
people
not
that
unheard
had
of.
this
It's just
good
a 90s
copy
game
protection.
thing.
And number 5, Resident Evil Code Veronica, aiming down.
Yeah,
If
Dune
you've
2,
ever
same
wondered
thing,
why
absolutely.
People say the knife in Resident Evil Code
I'm there with
Veronica
you,
is
Taco.
overpowered. This is
Taco.
why. For some reason, if you aim down using the knife, it ignores all normal invincibility frames. But you know how knives work in these games. You swing them, they do one hit, and that's it. It's usually fairly weak. In Code Veronica, if you use the knife while aiming down, it'll hit enemies not just once, but 3 or 4 times per swing. Makes the knife almost as strong as a shotgun. And
Wow.
this isn't Resident Evil 4 Remake where they've added durability, so this knife is just an unstoppable killing machine. All it takes to unlock its true potential is just looking down.
I remember
it
that,
seems like
Jack.
that can't be intentional to me. And number 4, it's going to be hard for me to get through this one without laughing. In Heavy Rain, pressing X to Sean. One of the greatest
I don't know
bugs
this
in video
game.
game history.
Heavy
in
Rain?
The game that has the best weird quick time event stuff, period. I can't imagine the devs of this game would want people doing this in the big dramatic...
I have not played this game at all.
Sounds like.
I had never heard of it.
Like the
Whoa.
finale, the climax, the big thing. Like during the final chapter of the game, you press X to call Sean's name, and then you select anything by pressing L2, and you trigger the cutscene while the voice clip is playing. If you do it right, you can constantly shout Sean through the entire cutscene and beyond.
That
It's
sounds
pointless, but
hilarious.
It's one of the funniest things.
That sounds hilarious.
Period. Legitimately, like in the
What
middle
is this
of
game?
all of these sentences, I'm literally trying as hard as possible not to burst out laughing, thinking of what it sounds like. And number 3.
It reminds me in Diablo, in the current Diablo, I love how the sorcerer says, look, look. All I want to do is just say, look.
In Final Fantasy II, just grinding with a push of a button. An old one, but it's so bizarre it's worth a mention. The experience system is totally bizarre in this game. Instead of the normal way to level up like in pretty much every other RPG ever made, it has a system kind of similar to Skyrim, where attacking makes you do more damage, casting spells makes your magic power increase, etc. It's baffling because it can be a huge pain to figure out, but hilariously, the easiest way to increase your stats is just to attack your own party members, which works just as well as attacking enemies.
You
but
can
is a
attack
lot
your own
faster.
party members?
That's pretty good, but there's an even easier way to grind in this game. It's by using the target cancel bug. Basically, all you do is target somebody with a physical or magical attack, and they'll still get experience for it. You don't even have to attack to grind in the game. You just constantly select attack and back out of it over and over again. It's kind of like the infinite item glitch in Final Fantasy VII, but
I remember that.
more game
I
driven.
remember that
It's
very
a
well.
ridiculous oversight that still works, even in the modern remakes of the game. And number 2 is Halo 2's Super Bounce. Half the fun of Halo 2 when it first came out was screwing around with the various bugs and exploits, but this one's probably the most fun. How it works is kind of tricky, but the basic gist of
I spent so much time on this game. I hope I remember what he's about to say, because I don't remember this glitch. I don't know what he's talking about right now. I hope I remember this. I spent a ton of time on this game.
it is if you trigger a crouching glitch in certain spots, you can jump into the seams of the level, which for some reason makes your Spartan bounce very high in the air. Depending on the angle of the jump, you can
I
send
did not know
yourself
about
halfway
this.
across the map
I
and
remember
just
this
fly
map
high
though
in the
so
sky.
well.
But either way, it's a fun little trick that sounds difficult, but actually isn't too hard to trigger if you know what you're looking for. Cruelly,
I spent
they
so
removed
many
this trick
hours
from
on
the
that
Master
map.
Chief Collection, but if you have an OG Xbox copy, the Super Bounce still works, and it's as much fun to screw around with as it used to be.
Red versus Blue made their whole series on this map. I love this map. One of my favorite lines is, it's a canyon. Yeah, we're defending a canyon. Why are we in this canyon? Nothing important is going on about this canyon. We're here because the other team's here. Why are they here? Because we're here. And why are we here? Because they're here. Is that the only reason? Yep.
And finally, at number 1 is Skyrim. Come on, you knew it was going to be Skyrim, or at least
I did not
some
know it was
Bethesda
Skyrim.
Game. But putting a
I
bucket
thought it was
on
Bethesda
the
game,
NPCs'
probably.
heads, this is one of those perfect examples of an unintended effect that devs just probably couldn't expect. You see, in Skyrim, it's possible to hide behind physics objects. So one intrepid player realized that, hey, if you can block line of sight with a bucket, why not put the bucket on someone's head? And surprisingly,
awesome.
it actually works. The game is smart enough to make it so that people see with their eyes.
That's
and even
awesome.
that their vision can be blocked by objects, but they didn't put anything in it to make it so they'll react if you put something on their head.
I love
So
this. Whoever
NPCs
thought of
just
this is a
stand there
genius.
oblivious with a bucket on their head. And
Is you
just
steal
rob 'em
everything.
blind. To Bethesda's credit, they recognize how absolutely wonderful this trick is and never removed it from
I
the
love
game.
it.
Maybe it's a little overpowered, but it's a single-player game, so who really cares? And
Yeah.
that's all for today.
That was freaking awesome. I love that. I love that. That was a great... that's why sometimes we ended up trying the weirdest things in GTA, just to see if we can break things. It was my favorite thing to do in the games. That was that was done by Gamer Ranks. Give him some follows, subscribe. 20 things developers didn't think anyone would try. I bet that took a while to develop, make. Ford Power, how you been? We're trying to figure out what's going on. We're still excited over Starfield. I need some coffee, as you saw with that, Jan. This looks interesting. Insane 70 mile an hour or electric go-kart, public roads.
We've got 1, 2, 3.
This is one of Los Angeles' most notorious roads because it's really popular for drifting and street racing. And I guess we're continuing that legacy. There's been a couple common questions, some FAQs, if you will, about the go-kart.
How are they allowed to drive on the street? I don't think they're allowed to drive on the street, guys. That looks fun as hell.
Downtown.
That looks fun as hell, but the cops will pretty much wreck you instantly, probably. We've seen the spiffing Brett. He's pretty freaking hilarious. Please type history of Leroy Jenkins. Do you really want me to watch Leroy Jenkins? Leroy Jenkins.
Imagine it's 2005 and you're sitting in your college dorm room after a long night of drinking 40s.
I don't know if I want to watch this. See you, Jack. Good catching it, brother. I want to play something, though. Hey, if Osmond Gold reacted to this, I want to react to this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to take a look at Leroy Jenkins, Brendolf.
Imagine it's 2005 and you're sitting in your college dorm room after a long night of drinking 40s and you're about to log in to World of Warcraft. Your exams are done and now it's time to fuck up some Yetis with the guilds you and your friends
F up some Yetis, baby.
But you quickly run into a problem. In order to take on WoW's biggest raids, you need more people in your guild to avoid the shit-kicking of a lifetime. So what do? Well, if you're like Ben Schultz and his friends, you might stage an epic fail and inadvertently spawn one of the internet's original memes.
Ultimately, we were going to be recording and posting a video of something, and so the whole dungeon was a screw-around situation, but this was pretty good. But I wouldn't say it was like we wrote a script the day before or anything like that.
I do not know this story. I'm learning about this from the scratch. If you have heard about this, let me know in the comments. This is new to me, completely new. I know the meme, I just didn't know about this.
Definitely, we got to the spot, that kind of happened, we thought it was hilarious, and we did another take.
I'll run in first. I will use Intimidating Shout to kind of scatter them so we don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating of course, percentage of survival.
Oh, that's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in.
God damn it, Leroy.
I'm down, forking down.
Why do you do this shit, Leroy?
I'm trying.
It's not my fault.
Hey, you got a warlock. Leroy, you were just stupid as hell.
At least I have chicken.
In May 2000.
Remember when that used to be funny YouTube videos? I did not realize that was all staged. Wow. I did not know it was all staged.
5, the Pals for Life Guild's A Rough Go was first uploaded to WarcraftMovies.com and later YouTube. The video blurred the lines between a serious attempt at a raid gone wrong and an obvious gag between friends. And it had something for everyone. The inside baseball gibberish jokes.
I'm coming up with 32.33, 3-3, repeating of course, percentage of survival.
A quotable and now iconic phrase being shouted
Thanks,
in
Amal.
revelry and jest.
Thanks so much for the like. Oh
And
my
of
god, my
course,
ears.
senseless poultry worship.
At least I have chicken.
It wasn't long before A Rough Go quickly became the most watched video on Warcraft movies, and within months, it had racked up millions of views on YouTube. Wait a second. Why is the most viewed Leroy Jenkins upload on a YouTube channel dedicated to weird-ass GTA for kids videos?
The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell.
You know what? Forget I asked. After the video went viral, the Pals for Life were bombarded by thousands upon thousands of random people looking to play with the legendary Leroy.
Well, it was great in some regards because we did get some actual good players saying, hey, you guys are cool, let's hang out. We'd PvP with them, they were really good, and create this pretty strong guild, and we'd do high-end raid content. But then, yeah, I had a stalker who, I mean, you call him a stalker, it was just a guy who always followed me around. Once I logged on, you can always tell if someone's logged on because you can add them as a friend, it doesn't have to be mutual. And he would find me and do whatever I was doing and ask if he could join the guild, and then do that for.
Sounded like he had a fan. Why is he calling his fans a stalker? Did this guy like come and break into this house just to say he's still still his G-string? Leroy Jenkins.
You're a stalker. Stalker. I knew it. I'm not a stalker. Look at me. I'm wearing a tuxedo. Stalkers wear like trench coats and no underwear.
Although Leroy Jenkins was a popular meme within the mid-2000s gaming scene, it wasn't long before it escaped the confines of the internet, making its first appearance on an episode of College Jeopardy, and then again later that year as a subtle.
When I saw the Jeopardy screen, I'm like, there's no way this ended up on Jeopardy. I just have a hard time believing that. I was about to go, what? It's College Jeopardy. Of course it's college. Is there a College Jeopardy? Is there like middle school Jeopardy? That might be too much still for me. Is there kindergarten Jeopardy? I think I'll get that. Can I go to kindergarten Jeopardy?
Reference in a WoW-themed episode of South Park.
Okay, right behind Stan.
This is the best episode in South Park, one of the best ones.
At that moment, I will use intimidating
This is an
shout.
awesome one.
I will use intimidating shout.
And while a South Park joke might be the strongest sign that a meme has gone mainstream, you know something's truly gone out of control when the US military embraces
Thanks, CZ Jr.
For Brett and his men, each trip into combat starts with an alarm.
The meme has even become a way of ridiculing core warfare tactics, not for just in-game battles.
In my rescue operations unit, I was the maintainer, and we had standby. We had to carry these little weird pagers, and as soon as they would go off, we had to be at the aircraft within 15 minutes or less. They didn't care if you were naked. They didn't care if you weren't shaved. They just need you at the aircraft as soon as possible. I wish I had thought of changing the beep 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 to Leroy Jenkins.
But real life ones too. Anyway, despite the minor celebrity status that Leroy Jenkins afforded Schultz, it's important to remember that it was a 2005 level of internet fame. Twitch didn't exist yet, and the era of gamers as money-making personalities was still years away. Naturally, once Leroy Jenkins took off, the Pals for Life tried to create and sell merchandise around the meme. But with copyright laws being what they are, that didn't last for long.
Yeah, we kind of thought maybe we should bring up some shirts. Other people were already bringing up shirts. There was a lot of shirts. I mean, people were like, why don't you go around Stop? I'm like, I think the only people who I could have maybe talked to would have been Penny Arcade, but they were then licensed with Blizzard at the time, so they had art assets that we couldn't use, and so we made some shirts with me drinking a 40 on it, essentially. That's where Leroy came from, but that was an inside joke no one got, so we didn't sell many.
While Ben and his guild drifted away from WoW around 2007, the joke they created as drunk college kids continued to thrive in their absence.
All right, chunks, let's do this. Barney Osterhanson!
I did not get that reference.
Chicken.
That point, all bets are.
Oh my God.
David. Oh, geez, stick it clean. Oh, geez. Let's go. God damn it, Leroy.
Oh my God.
Leroy, you moron.
Oh my God.
Dude, right now.
watching TV that just had to change his pants.
Oh my God.
Guarantee you.
In response to its growing
I didn't know that was on that
Blizzard created
on the
Leroy
Daily Show. That's
Jenkins
awesome.
action figures and began implementing Schultz's fictional character into their gaming universe. Leroy ended up with his own closer card in Hearthstone, distinguished by its high burst damage and aggressive nature.
That's awesome that he got this kind of stuff.
But true to his character, its time on the battlefield was often short-lived. In WoW, Blizzard even added the community symbol as a garrison follower, which left Schultz feeling conflicted.
They actually put Leroy in the game at one point, and that's about when I quit, where I was like, you know what, I can't
messed up.
do anything about this. They basically just not stole, they own any video you make with their stuff as part of the end license agreement. And I was just kind of disappointed that I was in there, and they had someone voice it, and it wasn't me. So I was like, I'm done.
But after reconnecting with Blizzard, Schultz was flown out to their studio, where he was paid a day's wage to re-record his iconic lines, which were later added to both games.
That's good. That's good that he got
Warcraft
paid.
would be getting the big-budget Hollywood treatment in 2016. Many fans, Schultz included, thought Leroy Jenkins would get a cameo or at least a passing reference. And he did. Sort of. In the original draft of the script, screenwriter Gary Whitta had a Private Jenkins prematurely run into battle, yelling a war cry and getting killed almost immediately. And although the reference ended up being excluded from the film's final cut,
That sucks. It should have been there.
Schultz was invited to its red carpet premiere, where he got to meet some surprisingly big admirers.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Jamie Lee Curtis was fun. They told her I was there, and she wanted to meet me and do the yell with me, and I was excited to meet her when I heard that too.
Leroy Jenkins!
Very good. I got
That's awesome. I love her. She's so nice.
All right, chums, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
That's awesome. That's
Whether
awesome.
you think it's
I'm
funny
glad he
or
got to do
not,
that. I'm
there's a
happy for
certain
him.
charm to the Leroy Jenkins meme because it encapsulates the last gasp of an innocent internet era that no longer exists.
Yeah, it definitely
From
doesn't
the
exist anymore.
god-awful mic quality to the vanilla version of WoW that Schultz and his friends were playing, Leroy Jenkins resonates a nostalgia that all gamers can relate to.
No, I think it's great that people love it that much, and it has just become its own entity. It just gets referenced all these places, and it's kind of fun. It's been 14 years, and so I think sometimes these references get people like you to be like, hey, a Leroy thing would be cool, and it kind of like recycles itself, so I can keep doing fun stuff.
But on top of that, Leroy Jenkins is a cautionary tale. Stick to the game plan and don't be a fucking hero. It's a tragic parable about what it means to
I
be
am a
human
Leroy Jenkins, and I don't care.
Being selfish. Are you fucking kidding me, Matt? Are you kidding me? I'm trying to do my lines and you're already eating your lunch? You're the worst cameraman ever.
At least I have chicken.
Pretty lame. Pretty lame. Such a great video. Such a great video. That was pretty cool though, brother. That was pretty cool. Leroy Jenkins. I've missed it. I didn't want to scream in the mic. I didn't want to scream it in the mic. The meme was pretty good. That was a good suggestion, Life of the Gamer. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I kind of need a... I'm not sure if I need a break or what, but might need to go grab something to drink. The PlayStation Plus increase. Thank you so much. Yeah, totally forgot about that. Wait, did I get distracted? Oh my god. Turbo, you're still here. Life of the Gamer distracted me. Sorry, Turbo. Oh, I feel bad. I totally forgot to check it out, and I talked to him about it, to her about it. Who was I talking to about this yesterday? I think we were talking about it yesterday. Chelsea, Lamar, and I. We were talking about the PlayStation price increase, and we were kind of disappointed. I've actually actually purchased a lot of them, so I'm kind of curious. Is it worth it? It kind of is. I mean, The 3 free games are kind of okay, you know, but yeah. All right, let's take a look.
Sony has lost their damn minds.
This is by RGT, and Sony just pissed off all PlayStation 5 owners by raising the Plus price. Is it just for PlayStation Plus owners?
I don't even know if I can say
owners?
that word in the first 30 seconds of a YouTube video. I'm talking about a beaver dam. That's like science and nature and stuff like that. You can't demonetize me for that. But no, I'm not talking about the PlayStation Portal. I've already talked about the PlayStation Portal. I just don't understand the need for it, especially when remote play exists on things like your cell phone or your tablet, and they have backbones that can be used for it. It just seems like it's solving a problem that doesn't necessarily exist. But this new thing is a whole nother level of just BS nonsense that is ridiculous. This was just announced by Sony this morning about PlayStation Plus. Now, of course, this is how you play your PlayStation 5 games online. You get access to other things. I haven't been too happy with the retro games that have been released on PlayStation Plus for the highest tier that I am in, but I've always been of the mindset that hopefully it'll get better over time. But this new announcement, oh boy, it makes me think
He already sounds like he doesn't like PlayStation.
that I might be wasting my money. So here it is. Nice, and we're not even talking about it here. We're just talking about the games that are coming. You get the crap-ass Saints Row, Black Desert Travel.
Why is it crap-ass Saints Row? I'm actually looking forward to Saints Row.
Edition, Generation Zero. Yeah, those are some banger titles there. Those are the games I really want to play. And what is this? What is this? New pricing changes to PlayStation Plus 12-month plans. Oh, well, maybe they're lowering the prices of these things, because that's how it used to be back in the day. I'm so old that I remember as time went on, systems and features and games and everything, they got cheaper over time, but that doesn't really exist anymore. So Adam Nickel is giving us the information here. I don't care about these games. I'm not playing Saints Row Crap Edition.
Why not?
Black Desert, an MMORPG. No thanks.
He just sounds angry. He just sounds so angry. It's a good video, but
Thank you. RGT does not play those. Generation Zero. I don't even know what this is. I kind of like that aesthetic, but no. And then, of course, oh, what's this? What is this information here? We also wanted to let you know that starting September 6th, we will be increasing the price of PlayStation Plus 12-month subscriptions globally across all benefit plans. This price adjustment will enable us to continue bringing high-quality games and value-added benefits to your PlayStation Plus subscription. What value-added benefits?
Ooh, what do you mean, what value-added benefits? Honestly, the servers, just to maintain the servers, and the amount of people who use those servers is becoming astronomical. But the bandwidth you need to be able to maintain is very, very expensive. I'm not happy about the price of it, the increase of it, but $5, it turns out to be like $5 every month. Yeah, it's not like $60 a month. It comes down to $5 a month. It doesn't seem that much to me. Especially, I recently watched a video. I don't remember about what video it was. It was talking about how much bandwidth you need to run most things. And yeah, $5 a month to do online gaming doesn't sound that expensive to me. If it was $10 a month, that'd be kind of expensive. If they raised it to $10 a month, I would have had an issue with that. I don't want to pay $120 a year for a console that cost me $600-700. It just seems ridiculous. Yeah, that would have been too much. Yeah. I don't know, with inflation and everything else, I'm not surprised they raised it. Let's see. Sony dang lost their mind. 8 days ago. Sony goes all in, new PlayStation lineup, upcoming PS5 updates. Let's check this out.
Should you just wait for the PS6? The numbers are in and Sony's got to be pretty happy. And here's what's leaving PS Plus.
Wait, there's already a
How's it going,
PS6?
everyone? Welcome to PS Ready. I spent my weekend playing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game with my friends, and it is really, really good. I have my review at the end, so if you want to but also had a few improvements over the original model of the console. I mean, we even saw this with the Nintendo Switch, where we got the main Nintendo Switch at launch, and then a couple years in, they released the Switch Lite, which was cheaper because it didn't have the TV features of the Switch, but a lot of people ended up liking it more. And then after the slim model, with some of these consoles, like the PS3 specifically, you would see the super slim model, which is the worst one, I would say, out of the 3 PS3s. I'm partial to the launch one, the
super slim one was kind of bad.
Like the PS3 Slim, I just really did not like that top loading drive that they put in the super slim, and we even kind of saw that with the Xbox 360e, which was kind of in the same design language as the Xbox One, but overall was not really that good. The big wrinkle with how things work happened in the PS4 and Xbox One generation, where Sony and Microsoft released the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X.
The PS4 Pro was
pretty
okay.
They ended up needing to release those consoles was because that generation started pretty late. If you remember, there was a recession around 2008, and that caused the generation of consoles that was happening then, the 360 and PS3 generation, to extend to be a lot longer than was initially planned. So the hardware that
I don't remember that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Was just sat on by Sony and Microsoft, and then by the time it was eventually released, it wasn't that big of a jump over what we already had, and compared to PCs and other technology at the time, it was pretty far behind. So when the slim models of these consoles came out,
I was
Xbox
super happy.
Did get a
I was super happy with my PS4. I don't remember that. Hi, Zaskimo. Did you just join up? Starfield is a game that's coming out today. If you rewind, you can see it. I had the Slim. Let's see which ones we had. Okay, out of everything here, okay, I can tell you which one's still in my... I keep it in my closet in my bathroom. Not bathroom. Well, yeah, in my bathroom, I guess it is a bathroom. I had the PS3 Slim. I had the PS3... No. Did I have the PS3? No. I had the PS3 Slim. I don't think I had the PS3. I had PS4. Wait, did I? Oh, I did have the PS3. I had the PS3. I had all of... I still have my PS3 Slim. I still have my PS4. I still have my PS4 Pro. These ones are the ones I built my YouTube channel on. Obviously, I have my PS5. I never had an Xbox 360. I never had an Xbox 360 Slim. I had a X1. I had a X1X. I don't have an XSX. I don't like the naming systems. Yeah, more of a PlayStation guy here.
Life cycle, you would get a slim model that was cheaper to buy.
Hey Frost, how you doing, buddy?
Had a few improvements over the original model
yeah.
of the console. I mean, we even saw this with the Nintendo Switch out just to meet their quarterly deadline or whatever, so they can say they got X number of revenue in this period of time. I totally believe with games like Dead Space, Jedi Survivor, and Final Fantasy 16, if they had gotten more time in the oven, then they would have been able to run at 60 FPS when they launched, because both do have performance modes that are able to hit 60
I'm over
FPS.
this, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep watching this, but we got the gist of it. Well, we didn't get the gist of it. He's talking so much history.
This is down the match quick, right? When you can. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Nope. Losing games. PlayStation 4, 5. Okay, here we go.
That have been sold, and
I kind of, it's one of those videos that you forgot why you were there for. We were there for because we thought there was going to be new lineup coming up, and he had information about it. But I don't think I see that.
Probably be doing a lot. How they're not happy with it, because up until now PS5s have been selling literally as fast as they could make them, so it's really their fault for not being able to make enough PS5s when the demand was super high. And the only reason, like we've talked about in a lot of
Where's the
videos
newest
lately,
lineup?
that people maybe aren't going out and buying a PlayStation 5 right now is because they don't feel like there are enough games to take advantage of it. And we've had so many confirmed leaks about the PS5 Pro coming next year, they're probably sitting there like, hey, if I wait, I'm gonna get rewarded for it. And with stuff like PS Plus Extra and Premium, where you get this huge library of games, including PS5 games at this point, you only get rewarded the longer you wait to buy new hardware. But despite all that, the PS5 is selling really well. It's on pace with...
I mean, that's pretty much any hardware. I mean, every time I want to buy a phone, I have to consider, am I buying it too early? If I wait 2 months, I should get a new phone. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. How we been going for 2 hours, guys? Yes, we have. Trump said he was worth 2.4 billion more than he actually is. A live Starfield Q&A with Signal.
You can get suit protection for that stuff, but yeah, that's all I'll say. And you mentioned something about fishing. Can you attack fish? Yes, there are aquatic creatures that you can attack and
That's interesting.
loot. And yeah, I'll probably have like some videos out about that fairly soon. Maybe not the first round, but maybe the second round. I'll do some fun stuff with that. Very cool. Good question. All right.
Is he associated with Starfield?
I'm so thankful for all of you joining us. If you're a long time.
Is he associated with Starfield? I don't think he's associated with Starfield, is he? No. I thought his channel, the way it was set up, it made me feel like he was associated with Starfield. So, yeah, he's not.
United Con.
I don't want to watch an early access stream right now. Alrighty, guys. I think no, I'm not typing red shirt guy. I think it's time to take a little break. We've been going for 2 hours right now. I'm gonna go get a quick snack, fill up my coffee, and be back in less than, I don't know, 3 minutes or something like that. It's never more than 5 minutes. It's usually 2 minutes because that's how long it used to take me to fill up my cup. I don't know what we're doing. Honestly, I want to stream again later today. I want to stream when Starfield comes out. Should we end the stream and do another stream at 5 o'clock when Starfield is released? What do you guys think? I don't want to go too long today, right now, because if I go too long, I'm not going to do the stream later just because I got to take care of some stuff. So it's either we go longer and play something now, or to do, so it will be, so the release time is in 5 hours. So the next stream will be in 5 hours if we stop now. I know, Toko. I think it's a good idea. Here's the thing, though, Toko. Toko is saying it's probably a good idea for me to stream it. He means that as a YouTuber, it's probably a good idea for me to do that because it will help me grow, right? But honestly, I don't know. I told my wife yesterday night. I told her this. I don't know where to draw the line. My main reason for doing this, coming back, was because I just want to do what I want to do and enjoy myself with my friends. And I don't want to end up doing things that I had to do as a YouTuber. So I want to keep this enjoyable so I don't end up in the same place, get burned out, have a bad time, okay? So I was like talking to my wife and I was asking her, what's the smart thing to do? Should I stream tomorrow or today at 5 p.m. when the game comes out? Or should I just do it in next day in the morning, tomorrow in the morning? I don't know. If I was trying to grow a YouTube channel, I would have to stream it at 5 p.m. Do I want to stream it later in the day? Do I want to stream later in the day in general? I kind of want to try streaming later in the day in general, no matter if this game comes out or not. Could be streaming this game later today, give me information about streaming at late at night and new game? It could. Yeah. Do which one, Snoopy? Later streams in the day, Brandolph and I can play together. Not tonight, but most nights, yeah. Snoop said, do the first one. Zesto said, end it here and continue at 5 p.m. You guys are too nice. Toko, I'll be sleeping. I'm sorry, Toko, if you're not going to be here. Okay. In that case, I'll do that. I'll end it now. I'll edit a video for tomorrow morning for the first video. And then I can take care of some stuff and then do the stream tonight at 5. Okay, Life of the Gamer. Alright, you guys are too nice. You guys are always looking out for me. I love it. Snoop says, yeah, try at 5. See, you guys are too nice. Alright. Okay. I'll say goodbyes then and be back at 5. Thanks everyone for understanding. Yeah. I do want to enjoy this though, you know. I don't want this to be work. I want it to be like it was in the beginning. Something fun I do with you guys. Hell Tracker Gamer goes, hey, favorite streamer live again. This must be missed you a lot. Hell Tracker Gamer, thanks so much, brother. I'm about to end my stream. We just decided to end and be back in 5 hours. Okay, guys. Thanks again. Thanks for everything. I'll see you guys in 5 hours unless you're sleeping. Good night if you're going to take a nap. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Much love. Health Tracker, just make sure you turn on all your notifications. Come follow me on Twitter or something. And I'll see you in 5 hours, okay? All right. Bye, guys.